Here is the 2024 Mercedes-Benz. This is the CLE300 4MATIC in Starling Blue Metallic over MB Tech Black interior, and the e350 Sedan in Silver Metallic over Black Leather. These are all new with a refresh for the E-Class, and this is a completely different vehicle trim because for the C and the E-Class, you're no longer receiving a Cooper convertible. You can only option it now for the CLE, which is going to take components off of this E-Class and C-Class, giving us what we have today and increasing the length by 0.6 inches opposed to the E-Class. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons, the problem that I have with both of the variants and the comparable rivals. We're going to start off with the new CLE. The grille is going to have more of that dominant stance. It's still a flat structure similar to the GTs with the 3-point badging that goes into the new headlamp assembly, LED headlights and daytime runnings, with an optional digital lighting that has over 1 million pixels, using data from the cameras, the sensors, the navigation system to calculate the brightness value for each individual pixel, and that does it in near real time. The lower is going to get the gloss black that's going to highlight the air pocket and the center portion of the grille with front and rear parking sensors. As for the new E-Class, it's going to be similar to the EQ sedans, keeping a flat structure with the 3-point badging, flat enlarged Mercedes badge that goes into the new LED headlights and daytime runnings, and the same thing, you can option digital lighting for the front. The lower will get the gloss black elements that's going to highlight the air pocket, and the center giving a little bit more of an aggressive stance, but I feel like the CLE is going to be a little bit more dominant just because of the way the A-pillars are pushed back and you have the triple dome hood layout, whereas this is going to be a little bit more flat. Underneath the hood of both of these is going to have the 2.0 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged with a 48-volt mild hybrid technology. In this system that features a starter generator, this integrated electric motor system assists the combustion engine, and that produces 255 horsepower for both and 295 pound-feet of torque paired to a 9G-tronic automatic transmission. The difference is you're getting 24 mpgs to the city, 34 mpgs for the highway, opposed to 24 mpgs to the city and 33 mpgs for the highway. So even though this is a little bit longer, you're actually getting better MPGs. 20-inch multi-spoke AMG wheels, and because we have the AMG line package, the gloss black yet again comes into the side and on the roof for the pano, the side view mirror caps, but they missed it on the door handle. Kind of wish that they did that because this blue, which is an upgraded color, will look a little bit more sporty, whereas on the E-Class we get 20-inch wheels with an option of a 19-inch wheel, the gloss black on the side skirts, side view mirrors, and the window trim, as well as the large pano moonroof, and the door handles will actually fold in flush, and when you walk up to it, you just touch it, it'll expand out to open. No soft closed doors though, and when I'm thinking this should be similar to an S-Class, even though the pricing is still in the $80,000 price, whereas on the S-Class you're going to 6 figures, I would like to see that here to distinguish it a little bit more so, because when you're competing against the BMW 5 Series, that's going to be faster than this, a better weight distribution. The only difference though is we have rear steering, which when you're going under 37 miles per hour will turn to a 5-degree, the opposite direction of the front wheels, helping with cornering or getting in and out of a tight space. As you proceed to a faster speed above 37 miles, it will turn the same direction as the front wheels by 2.5 degrees to give us a near 50-50 weight distribution. With an optional airmatic suspension and with air springs and adaptive ADS, the damper characteristics will automatically control for each individual wheel and separately during rebound and compression. This feature keeps the ground clearance and the vehicle load. To reduce air resistance and fuel consumption, the vehicle level is automatically lowered by 0.6 inches from a speed of 74 miles per hour in the comfort driving mode. And when you're considering all the technology that has went into the whole rework of the E-Class, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Standard LED taillights with the 3-point badging. Yet again, you can get digital rear lighting with the chrome that's going to surround the top, The lower will have dual exhaust outlets. They're fake, but at least it gives an aesthetic design with the 360-degree reverse camera, standard reverse camera for the CLE300. But what I like about the CLE300 is it's 6.5 inches longer than the C-Class, so you're going to have more leg room for the front and the rear, more cargo capacity. And when you're thinking this is 0.6 inches longer than the E-Class, now you're getting a similarity to this size vehicle for a coupe or a convertible, and you're going to have a savings because once you go into the E-Class, these are both near base models. You're going to see a savings of around $15,000. The e350 power liftgate, 12.7 cubic feet of storage. You have a storage nook, bag holders here, plus more bag holders here. And on this side, underneath the floor, get some storage, and that folds out so you have a container to hold anything so it don't fly around. Split fold the rear bench in the back. It's going to be nearly flat. This is going to have a little bit more cargo capacity than the new CLE300 because this is at 11.2 cubic feet of storage. You'll still get the nook, and underneath the floor, you'll still have relatively the same size storage with the bag holders here. You do have to go inside. I've already done so that way I could just fold these seats down and you could see the interior cargo capacity. But we need to go inside, start up both of these new variants so you can hear the exhaust note. CLE300. E350. Headroom and leg room. The new CLE Coupe has more interior space. You get the sport pedals. It is a driver focused setup. You'll have aluminum inlays that will be found throughout the cabin. And the headroom difference for the E-Class, as well as the leg room, we're not going to be getting the stained steel pedals, but it'll still be a driver focused setup. You'll have some of the C-Class as you're noticing the circular air vents with the gloss black and E-Class components mixed. 11.9 inch infotainment screen because you're getting the same technology found from there embedded here. Dual climate control settings, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM AM FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, and as you notice, AI with natural speaking voice. So, hey Mercedes.
Yes?
Turn down the climate control.
Reducing the temperature to minimum for you now.
Driver mode select right here. You'll just simply click onto it individual. You can make it as sport derived as you like, as well as the ambient lighting that has 64 different colors that's found throughout all of the door panels, the dashboard, around the screen, integrating into here. They just do a really good job with all that. Napa leather steering wheel, 3-spoke multi-function with the paddle shifts, the stocks, and a 12.3 digital reader that can go through an array of information for the driver. You'll click here, and this is touch sensitive, so you just slide across. And on this side here will be for the center infotainment screen. Open up inside, you're gonna have a wireless charger, USB ports, cup holders, and the new key fob for the new Benz. Just like the C-Class, you can remove this, so that way you have more storage. Opening up in here into 2 USB ports, and it's a medium-sized storage box with auto-dimming rear view mirror, a pano moonroof that you just simply slide your finger across. And it's the same thing for the E-Class, so you'll just simply slide your finger as well. With the interior dash cam and the ambient lighting, you'll see wraps around all the way into the rear. So I like how they're doing that. We have the inbox hyper screen, which gives us 2 12.3 readers, one for the passenger, one for the driver gauge cluster, and a 14.4 information display with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM AM FM streaming, Bluetooth audio. You also have AI voice recognition, which, as you saw in the CLE, it's the same thing as, hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Turn down the climate control.
Reducing the temperature to 70 degrees for you now.
Going into your driver mode select here, which you can change right on the fly. When you click onto here, you can change the configuration to make it a little bit more sport derived with a 360-degree reverse camera, and you can see all around the vehicle by simply pushing the button. You can also change different layouts for that with the finger recognition, and this will slide up or down for the sound system. For the climate control, you'll just simply click on the menu option here to make it easier for you. With natural wood inlays, that opens up into a wireless charging pad. You can open this up so you have a little bit more storage capacity, 2 USB ports, push it to give you 2 cup holders, and you'll have the same key fob. It's going to be the same design here and the same style, except only 1 USB port, 3-spoke leather wrap steering wheel, multi-function. And the gauge cluster layout will change a little bit. So you can go here into Classic, and you can also configure the way you like it, even for the heads-up display. And you can see it's a large heads-up display. 15 speakers is standard. You can option a 17th speaker through Burmaster, and we have the aluminum inlays with the piano black opening up to soft materials here with a medium-sized storage pocket. Whereas on the CLE, it's going to be a longer door because of the coupe design, with the same size storage pocket with a standard reverse camera that shows full trajectory with the front and rear parking sensors. For the back seat of the E-Class, this is where you're going to be optimal for 6'3", especially with leg space, storage behind both of the front seats, air vents that's going to mimic the style of the front, with a tray, pin holder, cup holders, armrest, and the door is going to have the same segment that's found in the front with the ambient lighting, the piano black, the aluminum mesh inlays, and a medium-sized storage pocket. Sliding into the center, the floor isn't completely flat. You're going to be sharing some feet space, but in the leg space is not necessarily too bad because it is a wide vehicle, and headroom is actually optimal for somebody at 6'3". And the CLE will have its own unique seat, so no other Mercedes will have this. You'll pull the leather strap. It will move forward electronically. Now you have room for 2 more occupants with cup holders, area for some mints, ambient lighting, Burmaster sound system, and you have a little storage nook right here. Air vents that's going to mimic the front with a storage tray. Push the seat back. Feet space isn't going to be an issue. Headroom, it's not going to be an issue like the old C-Class, nor is leg or hip room because everything has been increased because of the increase of length.
In order to use this service,
starting off with the cle300 Coupe 4MATIC, so that way we could see how the performance drive is to this, then going into the sedan, because they're both the same engines, they're both getting a 0 to 60 at 6.1 seconds. So when you're thinking it's almost the same exact vehicle, there is some difference. This is longer, this is a little bit wider, especially if you're comparing this to the C-Class, because this is a huge difference in length, width, height, and wheelbase being almost an inch more. Because it's a coupe design, you will have a lot more blind spots, and we're going to change the dynamics to sport mode so we can see if anything changes in the drive. The suspension itself is pretty smooth, and when you're considering 20-inch wheels, I like that you're still getting that with a coupe or a convertible design, because typically it becomes a little bit more of a harsh ride. Like if you're comparing it against a 24 BMW, those are going to be one of the most firm suspension. Now the 25, which I have a review on the M4 Comp, I know it doesn't compete against this. They have completely changed the suspension layout to the 4 Series, in which it makes it a lot more smooth, similar to this, but the sound deadening is just a touch better on low speeds here. But with any vehicle, you're not going to be driving it just on low speed. So we're going to take it up onto the interstate so we can see the difference. And to show you some of the maneuverability, steering is very light. It's ready to take off at any given time. It doesn't feel heavy whenever you push the throttle, but it's not as rapid as I would like it to be considering all the technology that's implemented. At a higher speed, the wind noise comes in quite a bit, but I feel like the E-Class will probably polish that off a little bit more so because it's a sedan. Visibility is good. You don't feel like you're sitting down on the ground, but you definitely feel like you're in a sports car. So I feel like Mercedes has nailed it when it comes to the new CLE. The cons, unfortunately, because it's a mixture between the C and the E-Class, you will see some inexpensive components throughout the interior, but the fact that you're getting E-Class components as well shows that you're getting a deal, so it's a plus and a minus there. The AI system is very intuitive, so much so that it interrupts you all the time. So that can also be a pro and a con. And when you're comparing this against Audi and BMW, both of those vehicles are going to have more horsepower. BMW is going to have more torque. This is going to have more torque than the Audi, but both of those variants are going to be faster than this, in which this is an all-new vehicle. Usually with an all-new vehicle, you get the fastest in class. And Mercedes didn't go that route. Instead, they went a little bit more classic and timeless. And because the design mimics more of a sports car opposed to a sedan, I would like to hear the exhaust filter in, even though I'm at a base trim. But the 2.0 liter just doesn't do that. You'd have to go into the 3.0 liter, but then you're getting 375 horsepower. It's going to be night and day difference of a drive than this.
I don't know why.
Now let's check the performance. Like I was stating in the CLE, it's going to be the same performance numbers across the board, which I kind of wish that was different, because it would make optioning one or the other a little bit more desirable for me. Getting up on the interstate to hear the sound deadening. It's a little bit more quiet, but it's very similar to it. And even the S-Class has kind of went the opposite way of being super quiet, which, when I'm thinking all these vehicles have went through a full redesign and we have an all-new variant, it's sad to say that the sound deadening isn't better than it is. It's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is this in-box super screen that's similar to the hyper screen that's found in the EQ, in which you're getting some of those components that's going to be found through the exterior and in the interior. Upgraded technology, the best AI system, like I was saying in the CLE class, it's the same as this. On a con, the seat cushion, I wish it was a little bit more similar to the S-Class, meaning a little bit more wide, because this is so close to the CLE class. Really, the only difference is the back seats. For the executive drive, it's definitely going to tick the box. Unfortunately, both variants are going to be slower than Audi and BMW and even Genesis. The weight distribution will be a little bit better here, though, because we have the rear axle steering, which helps give it a near 50-50 weight distribution. On the flip side to that, though, it's going to be a lot more sharp, which you can actually nearly wreck the vehicle. I've done it a couple of times because of how close it will get to areas or objects whenever you're backing it up. I like the design better in the E-Class opposed to the CLE, because it feels a little bit more wide and it just boasts a little bit more luxury amenities. But either vehicle, you're going to have to go into the 450 in order to get some performance out of it, or to hear any of the exhaust filter into the interior. And because you're getting some of the E-Class components in the CLE, plus a savings and the option of a convertible, I would go that route. But let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Mercedes-Benz of Clearwater for giving us these two 2024 Mercedes-Benz, the CLE300 4MATIC Coupe versus the E350 4MATIC Sedan, for our car comparison review.